escalatory risks, and from the beginning, that has been shocking and evident at the same time. Let me just ask you the final question about a foreign country, about China and U.S. relations with China under Trump. There are signs that there are paths to more communication, more cooperation. China is sending its highest level government official ever, its vice president, to sent them to Trump's inauguration. Trump has said he wants to visit China in the first 100 days. He often speaks about President Xi with a lot of affection and a lot of respect. There's clearly going to be economic competition and tariffs of the kind that we saw in the first administration, but it seems like Trump has zero interest in confronting China militarily, although a lot of people surrounding him in that administration have a very different view. What do you expect in a very general way? It's obviously a very complicated topic, and I know you've been in China and you get rock star treatment there for reasons I want to talk about some other time, but so it's a country that you have become very, very well acquainted with. What do you see as the prospects of a better relationship between the two countries now that Trump is president?
I actually think, I'm not fully confident, but I think that relations between the United States and China under Trump will be quite good. And there are two reasons for that. First, Trump is not a warmonger. He's surrounded by warmongers in his own party and certainly in the Democratic Party. But Trump is just not interested in starting wars. He wants to do deals. He behaves like a tough guy, but he behaves like a tough guy in the context of doing deals. Doesn't want to start wars. I don't think he wants a war with China, or with Iran for that matter, or anybody else. So that's point one. Point two is, because we are bogged down in the Middle East, and because we are bogged down in Ukraine, and there's no sign we're getting out of those two messes anytime soon, the last thing Trump needs is a conflict in East Asia. So he has a deep-seated interest in doing everything he can to ameliorate tensions between China and the United States. He can play hardball at the economic level, but God forbid you get a war, in the South China Sea or over Taiwan. This is the last thing that Trump needs, given where we are in Ukraine and given where we are in the Middle East, and also just given the fact that he's not a warmonger. So I wouldn't be surprised if relations between the United States and China are actually reasonably cordial. I mean, there'll be a security competition there, but it may be the case that it's a low-grade security competition because of these two sets of factors that I just described.
All right, before I let you go, I just want to ask you about this last issue, which is, as you probably saw, Harvard settled 2 lawsuits this week where students had alleged that Harvard had taken insufficient steps to protect them from the dangers of anti-Semitism. And as part of that settlement, they agreed to adopt the